Your favorite source for everything esports and gaming. I'm your girl Camille, and can we just kick the broadcast off right with the wave? It's coming back. No? No one? Fine. Tonight in Unmuted, we have Marissa and Lisa giving us their takes on the latest stories, Twitch clips, tweets from pros, and fan creations. Then it's gonna get a little nostalgic because we're looking at how Pong's coming back in a really cool way. And a little later, Matt and Lisa are talking League with Razzleplasm and Esports in 30. But first, before we get to any of that, let's take a look at a spooky game trailer in Trailers on Trial.
Elbows. Hey, yo. Elbows. Hey, yo.
When this game was introduced at E3, it was probably one of the best intros just because I forgot her name, but the developer, she was the most cute thing ever. So I'm really hyped about this game and just, I really want to go to Japan. So maybe take me there. Let's go.
So I don't know why I let them do this to me again, but we gotta look at some spooky stuff. Ghostwire Tokyo, but the only reason I'm doing it is for Kumi Nakamura, because she's too kawaii for this world. We don't deserve her. But I will watch it just for her.
All right, so I've been told I'm gonna watch Ghostwire Tokyo, and I haven't seen the trailer yet, but I've heard lots about it, and I'm really, really hyped.
I'm already feeling it. I love the vibe.
I think they mocapped actual people, because it looks way too good to be just like CGI.
It's already spooky. I'm reminded of my daily trip into work.
Is something about to go down?
It's so beautiful, man.
Where did everyone go? Is this like the Avengers?
Thanos is back.
Oh no, not one high heel!
That must be an expensive boot. It's not a boot, it's a shoe.
Oh, it's a crossover with MK. There's Raiden.
I'm gonna assume they're ghosts just because of the name of, you know, the game.
Okay, transition of the century right there.
I haven't had lunch yet, I'm really hungry.
Don't fear the unknown. Attack it.
You see, that would be great advice if I had balls.
Looks extremely interesting. I really want to know what happens to those people. I really want to know, like, is it supernatural or kind of more based in reality? Like, who are we playing as? Like, what are these organizations running around?
That game, actually, I am so impressed with. The graphics look amazing. The story, they don't give that much away, but the things that they did show you was enough to be like, what's happening? I want to see who the villains are. I want to see what I'm fighting. Honestly, I'm sold. 100%. I will play this game as long as I get a free code.
This is gonna be something that I watch someone else play. Can we make Marissa do it? Because that'd be a treat to watch. But I'll appreciate how great that looks, but I'm a little biatch.
We got your gaming and esports hot topics, hot tweets, and the spiciest memes. I'm Marissa Roberto.
And I'm Lisa Dwan. We're going to present all the goodies we've gathered, which we will discuss and probably argue. But luckily for all of us, there is a mute button that we can each only use once when we want the other person to shut up.
Not me, though. Remember, we like it when you call us out when we're wrong and praise us when we're spitting truth. So let's get to it, shall we? We're going to start off our top story with what will likely be the cringiest thing of the year, but who knows, because I still do stuff on camera. For whatever reason, 12-year-old Faze clan member H1ghsky has released a diss track aimed at Tfue and his pending lawsuit with the org. Topics that he raps about include his Twitch ban, Tfue being a snake, and an implication that Tfue's girlfriend is sleeping with Logan Paul. The worst part, Faze clan itself promoted the video. It was promptly ratioed to hell and back for good reason, so here's a taste.
You left the team when they needed you most. Qualified, then you got bitter. They call you the GOAT, but I just don't know. I feel like FaceTime made you bigger. They gave you a contract, wasn't that great? But you still pulled the trigger.
Hey, Lisa.
Fire.
First of all, why does this exist? Why would Faze clan do this?
It's sad when a 12-year-old kid has more swag than all of us here combined. I really enjoyed that. Am I the only one? Maybe, probably, sounds like it.
Yeah.
Why would they do this? Because it got views, it got all of us to watch it, and it's part of their brand. Like, they're all very internet memey, so I don't see what the big deal is with it. It's not like he said an N-word. It's not like he went out of bounds. Like, he's just poking fun at
Shh, quiet now. The big deal is that they used a 12-year-old as a caveat. They used him as a catalyst to push their own initiative because they obviously have beef with Tfue. They used this 12-year-old. Obviously, he didn't write the words, okay? He didn't do this highly produced video. It's all about Faze clan using their power, using their influence, which now is honestly to me looking more a little cult-like. I'm sorry, because they're getting kids now to drink Kool-Aid, a little too much Kool-Aid, if you ask me. Because obviously, if they ask H1ghsky to do this, for sure he's gonna do it. He wants to please the people that have given him life. Faze Clan, oh my gosh, it's so amazing to work for Faze Clan and be part of Faze Clan. I can do whatever. Okay,
this is like speculation corner right here.
Oh
First
my God,
of all, you
tell me
don't
that it's
even
not
know.
true.
You don't even know the story behind this, and you're all taking this way too seriously. First of all, he was signed to Faze Clan to be used to make content. This is literally his purpose.
They're using a 12-year-old to push their own narrative.
Okay,
how disgusting is
actors,
this?
You also here, we script things that you don't necessarily agree with, and you say
And I
too.
say it.
And I say it. It's the same in this situation.
No, but I say it here. This is the show where we get to voice our own opinions,
Yes.
Lisa. I don't say things separately that I don't believe. Anytime I've done anything here, I've always said something that I believe, and you have done the same.
You're saying this.
You've
You're
done
taking
the
this
same.
way too serious. So this is a diss track, guys, by a 12-year-old. Why are you acting like this is the biggest thing ever?
Then
It's just
use
a humor
other
thing.
people, adults, full-on adults that also work for Faze Clan. If they do it, that's fine. They don't need to use this child to push their own narrative. It's not okay. Of course he's gonna say yes. Of course he's gonna say yes. Exactly. Where were his parents? Where were his parents when they signed him when he was 11? Where were his parents when he full-on lied? They lied to get him into everything. This whole scene is not okay. It's not right. If we want to take these orgs seriously, then they better act like, I don't know, professionals and conduct themselves professionally.
That's fair. Maybe I've just been jaded by the internet. All right, guys, let us know in chat what you think, because we're moving on to other Faze news, because Tfue's partner Cloak is leaving Faze Clan. The org published a short note stating that it would be working with Cloak to facilitate his departure in the near future. But in a stream, Cloak said that he's been trying to leave Faze for over 6 months, and that the team never contacted him before making its announcement. Cloak also said that other players have had difficulty leaving Faze, and that his departure was only possible because he failed to qualify for the Fortnite World Cup. Marissa, let's continue this conversation because it seems like Faze is up to no good again. Okay, this is different. Like, this is besides the rat
Tell me why you don't like Faze now.
Okay, I don't know the inner details of their contracts. I don't know why this is happening. In their contract, if they have rights, like, you know, in the contract saying like you can't leave for these certain reasons, we have to kind of respect that. You know, like that's probably what happened. But if, you know, the contract was legal, all that stuff, totally, obviously I don't side with Faze.
No.
But it's kind of interesting, you know, now Faze seems to be falling apart. People are leaving. And
and because of that, they're having to do things like the previous video to create more of a divide here, right? And that's something that we don't want in esports. We want everything to be inclusive. We want everyone to feel welcome. And now, like how Faze seems to be conducting themselves is like, well, you're with us, or you're completely without us, and we're enemies forever. Like that is not the way to be. And like, and I know this. Listen, I'm old. I've learned life lessons. Okay, so I know that this is not the right way to be. And the thing is, there are older people that are presidents of this company, that are people that like know what they're doing. They know how to make these agreements. They know how to be and behave in a professional setting. So I think that it needs to be a trickle-down effect to the people running all their content, to the way, like the people that they sign. There needs to be some, I don't know, growing up here so that maybe we don't have this drama, right? Where they can leave appropriately and then terminate contracts when they need to.
All the illegal stuff aside, isn't it kind of good to have villains in the scene? And this is kind of they're definitely building themselves up to be that person,
for sure,
right?
but like I don't see, there's so many guys that are in Faze Clan that I love so much. Like so many of their players I absolutely adore, and they are good, decent human beings. I don't want them to be labeled as villains because now their org is being, you know, I guess labeled as a villain, and I don't want that. I don't want that for them. I don't want that for Faze. I want everyone to be in an even playing field. I want to have love for everybody, and they're not facilitating that. Faze is not facilitating that for us at this point in time.
It's definitely bro culture taken to the worst.
For sure. It's
not all fun and games anymore.
Okay, we gotta move on. Speaking of Fortnite, Epic Games announced that the studio would be taking a 2-week break from June 24th to July 8th. Epic's offices will be closed during that time, though there will still be protocols and plans in place to deal with updates and bugs for Fortnite. Epic normally holds a 2-week break in the winter, but this is the first time they've done it in the summer. The news comes after reports of Epic's crunch culture emerged earlier this year. Lisa, what do you think of this break?
I mean, in theory, that's a great idea, but I wonder if they're doing it just to kind of pacify all the criticism about the crunch. You know, like, is it really in good faith?
Honestly, like when I heard this, I was like, yo, that's amazing. Good for them. Fortnite, as we all know, has FU money. Epic has FU money. They don't need to actually make money or do anything, or they're still making money. They don't need to work. I mean, listen, if we could do that, if we could take everybody here gets a 2-week break and we get to go on a little summer vacation, the camera guys are feeling it, right? I know. know. So, I mean, we would take it too. If a company can facilitate that, absolutely, 100. Treat your employees. And yes, there's crunch, but there's crunch all over the board when it comes to video game development. It happens in every single studio, even indie devs. Oh my goodness, they work day and night. It's just the way that it is.
Is this
right?
a good time for them to be taking their break though? Because they are in the middle of, you know, a game that has a lot of bugs. Well, everyone's making memes about it right now. Like literally on the tweet, people are like, haha, nothing's gonna change even if we take a break. What happened to all the bugs? Like, it's not a good time.
When is a good time to take a vacation though? Like that's something that I've actually been thinking about myself recently. Like when is a good time? Because there never really is a good time. We're always busy. Even Tyler and me are literally never. No, thanks Tyler. I'm here
He doesn't want you to go.
We're trapped forever. No, I'm really happy for them. They should enjoy their summer. They work really hard, just like we all do, right?
But there's like that one guy. They said that they're still pushing some plans or like bug updates. There's that one guy that still has to work. He's like, damn it! I have to work while everyone's on vacation. But you know, it's good. I think we both agree on the fact that, you know, workers need to be treated well. They need rest, especially in this kind of industry where things are always go, 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 go.
Yes.
So this is good. Wow, Epic actually did something right for once.
No, listen, we always poop on Epic because why? Because they have FU money, because they do what they want. Like, yeah, but they're successful. Like, this is what you get from a successful company. I feel like
you know what it is? It's the flaws are not worth their like reputation right now. There's too many flaws in their game and their esports, but their reputation is so high. That's why it's not proportionate. That's why they're getting a lot of hate.
Yeah, but you guys, we're only comparing the esports world to the regular mainstream world. Their mainstream world is where they make money. We keep like throwing it, like they gotta fix esports. No, they don't. They actually don't have to. They don't have to focus on esports at all and still make a buttload of money. They're gonna be okay. The fact that they're giving us
then they shouldn't pretend that they're doing a great esports scene. Don't pretend.
I don't think they are. I don't think they are. They hired Nate. He's gonna clean it up. It's gonna be great.
Okay, all right, we'll have to see. Our last story features some good news out of EA. In documents filed to the Security and Exchange Commission, most of EA's executive team declined their bonuses, which totals to $4.8 million US. Why did they do that? Because even though the company has had a rough financial quarter, they wanted the money moved to the employee bonus pool so that the average EA employee could still earn their annual bonus. Oh, it seems like the executives do believe pay to win, because this is a win and move right there. Marissa, what do you think of this?
That sounds awesome. Yeah. Wow, like it's very rare to hear of an executive or executives plural giving up more money, because you know once you get a taste of that good life, you just want more. You want more. You want more green. You need more green to line your pockets. No, that's amazing, because obviously you're only as good as your bottom line, right? You're only as good as like the employee making the minimal at that place that you work. So the fact that they're putting their money back into that and their employees do have an opportunity to get bonuses, it could be a little bit of an insidious thing though, because like, oh, now there's bonuses, more money in bonuses, so maybe you should give us more time and work a little harder. Like there might be a little bit of that.
It's an incentive. Yeah. But maybe now they can actually afford to have parties on boats, right, Marissa? What's that like?
What? Oh my God! What?
Craps table, catering.
They probably do.
Marissa was on a boat. Was at a boat party this weekend, guys.
I was on a boat. No, listen. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I'm sure they do this for employees. Their whole campus, like the EA campus, is absolutely lovely. Like there's so many things to do, like games for employees to play. It's very much like if you go visit Google, the same idea there, right? They have because they want their employees to stay longer. Yes. Take naps. There's a place for you to take a nap and come back to work. There's free food, all that stuff. The employees at big companies like this do get that because they want to incentivize employee happiness, but employee lifestyle, but to stay at work and
never leave. We've been asking for a sleeping cot here forever. Guys, subscribe to us so we can afford a sleeping cot.
Yeah, we need...
or a punching bag. Those are the two things we wanted.
Punching bag or
beanbag chair.
Honestly, I just have been wanting a beanbag chair. That's all I've been wanting.
Okay, we can definitely do that. Sub-goal, right there. Our first sub-goal, beanbag chair. We have high goals here, guys.
Well, no, just because like more casual vibe, especially for different segments that we do here, like PogChamp, or even just in the green room to hang out. Like we want not just couches, we want beanbags.
Yeah, but you know if Tyler sits in one of those, he's never getting up. That's the danger. That's the danger.
True. That's also the danger when he wears his big booties.
We're talking about another booty.
Tyler's getting shade. Okay. Listen, it's time to check in with streamers and clip it. Our first clip comes from H1ghsky, who received some perspective courtesy of, can I say it?
Say it.
Shitty watercolor.
Oh my God. True. Oh my God, what happened? Why now I'm this? 5 years ago, I'm very pure, and I'm. a pure and very cute girl. But Twitch is...
Oh my God. I say that to myself every morning when I wake up in the mirror. I'm a pure girl. I'm sweet.
You would agree to tell yourself in the morning. So yeah, I guess she didn't look ahead to see herself wearing a fake mustache and a
Yeah, how are you supposed to plan that? How do you expect to plan that? Like,
Yeah.
Actually, I put it in my calendar for 5 years from now that I'm going to do this on this day.
To be fair, I really do like Shitty Watercolor.
Yeah.
He's fantastic. He does such great work. He's an advocate for mental health issues as well. He's fantastic. If you don't follow him on Twitter already, you definitely should. He's big in the Rocket League scene, and that's how I found out about him. But no, he's just a Redditor at heart, and he's he's good at what he does.
Okay, is your promotion corner done?
Yeah.
Okay, back to her clip, because let's give her some love there. She's basically laughing at the fact that, 5 years ago, she just started streaming. 5 years later, she's dressing up a Dr. Disrespect for views. Yeah, you live long enough on Twitch to see yourself kind of do things.
Well, I wouldn't say like take a dive. You're kind of just like living the Twitch life. Like that's just what happens on Twitch.
So 5 years from now, where do you see yourself?
I don't know. I could be dressed up as a hot dog, maybe eating hot dogs.
The stash
for
won't
views.
change though. The stash
stays the same.
All right, next we have a clip from Hitch, our favorite live streaming hitchhiker. He encounters a slight mistranslation.
Did it translate?
Yeah.
Okay. Top.
原発のことをもっと知りたいですか? Do you want to have sex?
Bad Google. Oh no.
Do we know for sure that's a mistranslation?
I don't think it was.
She might be vibing him.
Maybe she was just doing it for a joke because it's on a stream. Like she could just be in on the joke.
Yeah.
Or like maybe she really does need some loving. Who knows?
That looked like a sincere reaction.
Like,
he was so red.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I would react in that situation. Like obviously I would just be like, no, thank you.
Do you like talk back into the translate?
Yeah, turn back. No, thank you. But I don't know. I guess shooter's got to shoot. She's got to shoot her shot.
But it's weird because she's like, she looks like, a mom. Like she's like a sweet, wholesome. No, moms can get it too. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's just like, that's not what you expect to come out of that conversation for her to ask that in that scenario. I don't know the scenarios. Where did he pick her up? I don't know.
Because he's the hitchhiker, right? Or
she picked him up.
I think she picked him up.
And then she said that to him?
Yeah.
Maybe she thought he was a...
Maybe.
Oh.
Who knows? I hope we get an update on that.
Someone update us.
That'd be fun. Okay, it truly is the best time of day when we scroll through the Twitterverse to bring you all the things the pros bless us with in the timeline. It's the best when they remind us how dumb people are. It's only Monday, people. COD Pro Zuma says, I hate her. Quoting this tweet that goes, yo, see, this is why you have to buy the ish 5 rows back.
Put that shit back. Oh, he's so fucking dirty. This is the most ghetto I've ever seen in my life.
What is wrong with people? What is wrong with people?
I put on deodorant this morning, and now I'm bragging. That's a brag.
Yeah, you put on deodorant at the drugstore?
No, well, I picked the one at the front. Oh no!
This is the thing. I was with one on the front too because it has a little cap on the inside.
But
then it should be okay.
But they just put it back?
They just put it back.
This is insane.
That's good. That goes trashed here. I don't like that stuff at all.
Yeah, no, that's so uncool. This reminds me of the time where you revealed to me that Uber drivers eat the fries off your order. Like this is like a rude awakening. I never expected this to be true. What's wrong with people?
Yeah. Well, the thing is that you just can't trust people. Basically, is what we're learning, and we've learned from time now.
Why are people disgusting?
Because it's just the way the world is. Listen, just make sure you don't get the first deodorant on the row.
Also, like,
don't do that. Don't be a disgusting human being. Remember karma? Do you remember that? It's gonna come get ya. Okay?
See, once again, Twitch and social media is making people do weird things, and this is not okay. No. All right, this next one is off-putting as well, but for a different reason. Thank God. Speedrunner and Freak says, "Good morning."
Yeah.
Is that what I think it is?
Yeah, that's Sonic Curry.
No.
Yes. Look at how disgustingly blue it is. Like, that is so freaking nasty.
Is this a thing?
Apparently.
I want to try. I love curry.
I knew you were
I love curry. I just wanted to see what it tastes like. Does it taste like different? Is it blueberry flavored? Like, I don't know. I'm intrigued.
I was like, I want to see what happens.
Yeah, I'm just intrigued.
No, it's a little scary though when something's that brightly colored, like that blue. Because like if it goes in that blue,
oh my lord.
You never know what's gonna come out of you. You feel?
See, that's fascinating to me.
Okay, so why don't we make
Test
you?
it out.
Yeah, you
I'll
be
eat
a
it.
test bunny.
I'll eat it.
Test hedgehog.
I'll do it. Let's go. You guys, send us a box. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. On our next episode of Unmuted, Lisa poops blue.
Okay.
How many of us attended birthday parties this weekend? Ooh, Lisa did
I
too.
did actually.
Yeah, she did. Mike Hayes was at one too. He says, I'm at a 1-year-old's birthday party and they got Old Town Road on repeat. Is this what dying feels like?
It would. That would be what it'd be.
Cute, but like, okay, if we're being honest, I also crush some songs on repeat. Like, I will crush them until they are full on dead to me.
Are you serious?
Full on dead to me.
You're disgusting. I'm the complete opposite. Because I
Really?
know when there's a good thing, you gotta have it little by little. Otherwise, that happens. I am the opposite. I would never repeat a same song that I like and again and again. Because now when do you listen to it? Never. You just ruined a good thing.
Okay, so it's literally Tyler right now, and my ear was just like, no, what dying feels like is listening to Camille and Lisa argue about if what bubble tea is for at least 30 minutes straight.
Guys, it wasn't really
Why did you
serious.
do that to
Last
him?
Friday night, it was just like us.
2 hours.
Okay, yes, I admit it. But listen, we were in a serious conversation because first of all, her and I, you know, both of us, we like to debate. That's a nice way to say argue.
Yeah.
And we were debating whether, because she was judging me over drinking 70% sugar in my bubble tea.
Yeah, that's too much.
Okay, this
It's
is
way
once
too
again misjudgment. She's a girl like love and happiness and acceptance. Why are you guys shaming me for taking 70%?
You guys are
It's
just
less than
ruining
100%.
things. I'm just
How
helping
many
you
people
because
have
you
100%?
ruin it. You
Wait,
ruin it with all the
why?
sugar. You take away from the flavor of it. You just added
friggin'
sugar.
Shut up! I feel so judged here. I thought you guys were supposed to love me no matter what. Because it's time to move on to crowd control. This is where we showcase some of the great or simply dank things the community has been making. This first post isn't dank, but it is being shared around the internet as of late. So let's take a look. All right. So as you see here, someone decided to create a collage of all the different controllers or consoles, because you can see the Game Boy there, representing the generations of gaming with the question, which number did you start with?
Wait, is the NES controller there?
Yeah, I think that's number 2, isn't it?
Okay, well, like, we don't need to talk about that, but like, that's the first console that was ever in the house, number 2.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That was yours?
That was the first controller that I ever touched, yeah.
Touched?
Well, like, ever had in my hands. I was young, but like, my dad had an NES, so that's what I had. That was
Your
the
little
first one.
baby? Your little baby is playing with you?
Little baby. I was playing Bubble Bobble. It was super cute.
That sounds old.
But
I started with number 5. I think most people.
what was that one?
That
I
was
can see.
the purple. Was it the NES? The purple one. The gray purple one.
Great purple one. Are you serious?
No, it's not the GameCube. It was the Nintendo. The purple. It was the purple one.
There's an SNES, and then there's, what do you mean?
It's number 5. Are you that blind you couldn't see it?
Yeah, that's right.
But for the record,
It was so small. The GameCube was purple. That's the first one you started with?
It's
was
not the GameCube. It's the controller that's gray and purple, guys. Someone help me in chat right now. It's a
Gray
Nintendo
and
64.
purple.
There you go.
Nintendo 64, that was your first one?
Yes. Though technically, there's a story here.
That was like an interesting controller, yeah.
Yeah, well, I was supposed to start with the 4, the Game Boy. Because my dad told me, he's like, listen, Lisa, get straight A's and I'll buy you a Game Boy.
That's
Don't say
amazing.
aw. This has a sad ending.
Uh-oh.
Because I got my straight A's. I'm still waiting for my Game Boy.
Yo,
Dad, you lied to me, okay? It cut me and I
Dad.
still think about it.
That's rude. Why do parents lie?
I don't know.
That's a topic for another day.
Really
Okay, nothing says clout like Super Mario. Wait a second. Yeah, you normally wouldn't think that, but the creator of this next exquisite piece apparently thought so.
I'm scared.
What?
Oh no.
What? Okay, so there's no information about which brand created this,
Thank God.
if it's real or if it's just a troll piece, but I'm sorry, this had to happen to Mario. That is horrible.
I hear it's like, it costs like 1.5 million coins. Like you gotta redeem your
1.5
coins.
million coins.
Yeah,
What kind of
Mario
coins?
coin. Please tell me that's not real, because how heavy would that be?
Yeah.
'Cause, like rip your neck.
No.
You're not wearing that around your neck.
You guys, can you not, like, why do you do this?
Some
Why don't
things
you
are
just,
sacred.
Why don't you just, like, invest in property or something? That just appreciates. Why would you do that? I guess diamonds are forever, maybe they don't, but, like, it's just silly to wear that much money around your neck. I lose things.
Yeah, you do.
Like, I can't be trusted with nice things. No, I just would never purchase something like that. That's insane.
Obviously, because that thing looks tacky AF. Anyways,
I don't get it.
moving on. Let's
Yeah.
end this unmuted with some sick moves.
Okay.
No, Marissa and I are not going to start dancing.
Dang.
We'll leave it to these guys who brought Mortal Kombat alive on the America's Got Talent stage. Ooh. actually the new DLC. Did you guys hear? Mortal Kombat.
I am freaking out. That was incredible.
That was insane.
That would like made me gag a little bit too, because that's like
Freaky.
insane. I could never like. How do they do that? I don't get the bending. I don't get the bending and the twisting like that.
Probably because we're inflexible. How flexible are you? What can you do?
Well, I used to be able to do the splits, but you know, now I sadly cannot.
Can you touch your elbows together?
Elbows.
Oh my God, she did!
What? Can you not do that?
Stop! Put your elbows apart. She doesn't know. She doesn't live on the internet.
I don't get it.
I just okay. I feel so bad.
What did you?
Nothing. Guys, don't tell her. It's fine. She lives in a little. But stop it. You're lucky you're not wearing a low cut shirt.
I don't have boobs to do that. It doesn't mean anything to me. What? Oh, is that really what boys do? You guys are stupid.
I feel bad now.
Gross.
I took advantage.
All right, that's it for you're getting into there. That's it for me. Remember, you can always hit us up on our socials. Just say hi or send us stuff to react to. Send them and type in ! socials right now in chat, and we'll see you later.
League of Legends has been blocked in Iran as tensions mount between the country and the United States. An unmanned U.S. military drone was shot down by Iran last week, and as a result, the U.S. government has instituted a number of sanctions and penalties aimed at the country. These sanctions detail that any U.S. company caught trading or doing business with Iran will be penalized. Since Riot Games is based in California, that includes League of Legends. The ban will likely remain in effect for several weeks until tensions cool down, but hopefully players from Iran will be able to play League again soon. Auto chess developer Drodo Studio announced that it would be hosting a $1 million tournament for the popular auto battler this October. Called the Auto Chess Invitational, the event will see famous players receiving direct invites, while others will compete in regional qualifiers around the world. It will also be held in Shanghai, probably to capitalize on the game's massive success in China. Drodo Studio created the original auto battler as a mod in Dota 2, but earlier this year launched a standalone version that has proven to be extremely popular. Both Valve and Riot Games have released their own auto battlers, and you could bet that they'll be keeping an eye on this event to see if Auto Battler Esports is a good investment. Chaos Esports Club has signed inactive Team Liquid player Matumba Man to its roster. The Finnish carry will compete with Chaos for the remainder of the current Dota season. Chaos now has 6 players signed to its roster, though it has yet to say who, if any, will be benched or let go. Matumba Man formerly played with Team Liquid over 2 years, winning the International 2017 in the process. He was replaced on the roster by Weeha, who himself formerly played for Chaos, meaning that this is essentially a trade, where 2 star players were swapped for the other, even though both teams never made a formal agreement. You can watch Matumba Man play for the first time with his new team when the TI9 qualifiers begin next month. I don't want to brag or anything, but I'm pretty decent at chess. Maybe not good enough to actually win a piece of the $1 million prize pool though. Speaking of prizes, you could actually get your sweet set of prizes by subscribing to us, and you'll even get the Camille Hey Guys emote. Yeah, you should do it. In the back, you can see Matt and Lisa getting ready to talk League with Razzleplasm and Esports in 30. But before we get to that, Marissa and Brody got to talk to the people behind Atari's Pong arcade table, and let's find out how they're bringing Pong back in a really cool way.
Welcome to the Squad Lounge. Joining us today is Stephen Tan and Angelica Green-Borellis from Unis Technology, manufacturers behind the Atari Pong table. This beautiful thing you see right in front of you. Welcome.
Thank
We're
you.
so happy to have you both.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for bringing this in. I obviously want to talk about this in just a second, but before we do, Stephen, can you just break down what Unis Technologies is and what they're all about?
Okay, Unis Technology is a group of companies, headquarters in China. We established a Canadian office in 2001. Mainly in Markham, I'm recruiting designers and developers of games that can complement my team of engineers in China.
Okay.
So that's how we complement, and that has allowed us to really penetrate North American markets, European markets with a lot of coin-operated games, which is really our bread and butter.
So it's just to fuse the engineering with the software was kind of the point of Unis then.
That is correct, because if you use Canadian talent, the music, the design, the colors, and what they learn, from colleges and stuff, in North America, it really complements the engineering well in China. And you know, to prototype makes sense in China. You know, to do sometimes coding or basic programming. I think that suits us. So with a talent in North America, that's why we established a market office.
That's awesome.
Oh, amazing. So like right around the corner from here. Now I'm curious as to how or why you guys decided to, like, whose brainchild was this to take the digital version of something and make it analog like this for Pong?
I can answer that one.
Yeah.
So the idea actually came from Cal and Fur, which is in Uruguay, and they kind of birthed this idea in 2014, and they love the game, obviously, who doesn't?
Yeah.
So they wanted to reimagine it, and they made basically like a prototype for themselves, and it went viral online. And they decided to try to make it into a Kickstarter, which they did, and then from there, people were like, this is amazing. We need this in our lives. So basically, from that rave, that's when Eunice stepped in and decided to actually create.
From the demand came a product.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, to add on it, when I saw the Kickstarter campaign, you know, I love the idea. I didn't buy a table, but I flew to Montevideo, Uruguay, to make a deal with them.
Oh,
and
crazy!
So being the first to approach them and being first to get in early to introduce our organization, how I could fit in with their invention. You know what I'm saying, and how I could tell them that, hey, look, I can build 100 tables a day. You know what I'm saying, and right now I already have infrastructure to sell to 70 countries, and that's why you know, they were very intrigued with this and took us.
It's crazy just how like ingrained in just human culture around the world, video games and something like Pong is now. So like we're seeing like barcades and stuff, you know, pop up all over the places. As veterans, people making this stuff, how do you see that culture right now? How do you see the expanse of video games with even just a casual audience in just like, you know, a party atmosphere and stuff? Something like this is built for party atmospheres, right?
It's true, and the change of barcades, you know, has only been recent. I'll say, you know, it started probably as early as 5 years ago, but there's some major companies right now involved. Cineplex, for one, created the Rec Room, you know, which is very well received by millennials today. And you know, when I look at a product, I think I look at a product that entices this kind of age group. You know, a product that is retro for one. You know what I'm saying? And retro right now is also extremely popular.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's all of us guys getting older now that are like, we want to relive our childhood games, right?
Yeah, like we don't need to talk about our age at all because they always happen to bring that up, and it makes me sad inside. But I love this because I feel like this appeals to just any kind of demographic, because with something like this that turns analog, it's Pong, but it's analog. So I feel like if my grandparents came over to visit, they would actually sit down and play this because it's so visceral, like it really is in your face. What kind of demographic are you guys seeing attached to this?
I mean, we've seen every age. It's one of those things where, you know how they say like games like Monopoly is like for all ages. Like this is exactly what this is. Really, there's no intimidation when you go up and look at this because you can see everything that's there. And you have a dial and you have a button, and that's essentially it. So really, you know, it goes from kids to people that actually played the game, you know, in the 70s when it first came out. So it's crazy that Eunice has created something that's just so incredible for everyone to enjoy.
Easily 3 generations. I've taken it to trade shows all around the world, and I think it has appealed, and I've seen the reaction from the different age group, and you know, it's been really.
So let's look at the table. We'll play it in just a second. We're almost there. Just from the design and what we're seeing in front of us right now, how is this, after Eunice got involved, how is it changed from its initial prototype to what we're seeing in front of us right now?
Okay, when I received the prototype, I remember it was in 2017, but I would believe that the product was probably 40–50% done, I would say. Okay. For the starters, one of the biggest changes we made to this table was it was using a PVC. You know, now we have changed it to a glass. The glass that you see not on top but at the bottom is a form of, like, just same as our mobile glass. You know what I'm saying? So the the ball and pedal, the ball is gliding in the glass, supported by the magnetic technology behind it.
That's so genius to like, because underneath this, it looks nuts. We showed it on our crowd control the other day, and it's underneath. It's just this mechanical craziness. Like it's actual things moving around, right? It's not digital. This is the digital brought into the real world. So I think we should maybe try it.
You really
and
have
watch
to
him
try
kick
it. Like,
yeah, you want to kick our butts real quick?
Okay.
All right, hop on.
Yeah, but I just love that it's it's a coffee table.
Yes. Look at this coffee table. Where are the controls?
Yes.
Oh, they're safe from all your coffee stains.
From all the. I'm sure you use a coaster, right, Brody?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I hope on this one you use a
Yeah, on this I would. Yeah. Okay.
Are you ready?
I think so.
Wait, first let's explain that you can actually do a single player as well with this table. Like, you don't need a friend to play.
Good. I don't have any friends,
I know.
so I can play
That's
this
why I wanted to make sure that we all are aware of that.
This may go bad. This may go bad. But let's get into it.
Okay.
I love the RGB. RGB everything.
All right, today you got a friend. Okay, let's go.
Let's see. Okay. Oof.
All right.
All right. Now.
Oh no.
Okay, but see, Brody, I feel like is very skilled at video games. Do you feel like your skills will transfer here?
Yes.
Oh.
I'll learn. I will learn his habits.
But what is the?
This is my Rocket League skills will come in because it's all the rebounds and stuff, right?
Of course. But the tactile feedback of the wheel here.
It just feels it's so smooth. Like it just.
Right, but is this a good tactic to let the wheel just spin, or should you actually hold it and control it?
It's better when for me personally, I barely touch it because the wheel does actually have so much movement, as you can see.
Okay.
So it's better if you just use a couple fingers, and then in terms of strategy, don't pay attention to what the other player is doing. Always focus on where the ball is going, because it's all about trying to imagine where it's going to end up, and you need to make sure that you're there at the right time.
Birdie's pretty good for.
So.
I just feel like just looking at this. I feel like this is one of those, you know when you like open a lifestyle magazine and like in like IRL now, I just feel like sitting in my living room and just having friends over. This is so impressive, even if they don't play games at all.
Absolutely.
Just to like decorate the living room, this is the centerpiece.
Absolutely, yeah. It's definitely it's going to be the talk of the town in terms of having friends over.
At least the talk of the block.
Can we talk about how like
right? Yeah.
Can we talk about how hard this will get if like you're in a live environment, people are shouting, you know, you're having fun, like this will get tricky. I'm already so focused.
Well, it's a 1 point to win, right? Tie game?
It is tie. All right, let's come down to this, and then Marissa, you'll have to give it a chance.
Okay, I'll like jump in. But
he's good. We're getting some good rallies here.
I know Steven's focused right now.
Oh no, I overshot.
So the table operates on magnets?
Actually, you play her.
Yeah, so underneath there's a little arm.
I want you to play her.
Okay.
That moves.
Would you like to try?
Sure, I'll go.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, great.
Okay, then move out of the way.
All right. We're doing a whole dipsy-do.
So it operates on magnets.
Yeah, so there's magnets underneath that actually pull everything around, and it's basically super strong, so keeps everything nice and balanced.
So the question I have for this is I guess anybody could, I guess you're probably breaking warranty at that point, but like you could probably 3D print, you know, a bunch of different like pong balls as well and kind of personalize
and
it too,
we
right?
have done it, and you know we've done some customization for beer companies, for example.
Yeah.
Things like that, and one of the things that you can customize would be the paddles and balls, and you know on the sites as well.
To brand it to your own stuff. That's cool. Is that so? I assume that's probably a part of like strategy is to personalize this for any of the customers and consumers that you have out there, right?
We're aiming for more commercial clients right now, you know, in terms of because usually when you customize something, you do need a somewhat of volume to do that.
Now, one thing that stands out, of course, is that you're using a dial as opposed to like a joystick. What was the design choice there instead of a joystick like you'd use in a standard arcade unit?
You know, joystick. Joystick is based on the original game where I find that it's almost 100% reactive, 100% responsive. But I think you just play with me. You would once you get used to the jog, you will feel there's a huge element of skill involved. Right?
Yeah.
And one of the things when I first saw the table is the ability for it to compete, right? And I really find that with the jog and how you're controlling it, the skill set is definitely a lot higher. You know what I'm saying? And 100% joystick. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's true. As I said, it feels so good. You are getting wrecked, by the way.
Twice!
I feel like she's had a lot of practice with this still. Now, obviously, like this game's been around for a while, so there's a lot of replayability. But something we're actually talking outside of this is when it comes to the competitive nature of this. Instantly, that's where my mind went, right? Just being in esports and stuff. Have you seen any kind of push for that market, like an esports market? And like, have you seen tournaments and stuff pop up for this at all, or?
Yeah.
Like
well, I would say in a major way because being in the gaming industry for so long, not every game you can run a tournament. You know what I'm saying? It has to be competitive. It has to be a game that head-on and a lot of repeat play value and social aspect of it. So, like I said, Pong is unlike others. I have run tournaments that the maximum person is 200 over people. I know that some of my clients have just run recent tournaments, Twitch it live and things like that. They run it right now like a tennis, style. I'm saying a double knockout or single elimination.
Okay.
And some have given away major prizes too, like a Rec Room I think gave away a table.
A whole table. Oh, I needed to be in that tournament.
Only a $5 entry, and it was sold out in minutes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, easily. Well, the thing with something like this that I need a game that has replayability, and I feel like with this, like you're gonna keep coming back to it for more.
Yeah.
Every single time because you want to beat that.
Have you thought of other like game modes then? Because as you said, it's like we can just come back and keep playing this forever.
Yeah.
But like, did other game modes ever cross your mind in jumping into, or is it just like, nah, we're going core Pong?
In terms of, we're open to all games. And retro right now, I say, is something I'll be looking for. But even this technology that's invented by, by my partner, that there are other potential products that you can churn from this, for sure.
Now, I guess we got to ask, because I want one of these.
I know.
How much is one of these going to retail for? And like, is there a difference from consumer and business purchases?
It doesn't hurt too bad. So it's 3,000 US.
Yeah.
So that's about 4,000 Canadian. And that's for the consumer model. So this one is made to go in your home because it has all the coffee table functions. But there are 2 other coin-operated models available that are more for the arcade or the barcade setting.
So they're more heavy duty. They're definitely going to cost more because they're going to be used constantly by everybody coming in.
You got rowdy people. I mean, I got rowdy people in my house too, but the out in the wild is a little bit different, right?
Yes. I mean, I do want to play Brody.
Do we have time?
Can we just like quickly?
All right, I got
you're gonna go? Okay. Just like one time because I feel like you're too good.
I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry.
You're
Don't
very
be sorry.
good. No. You're showing me what was up, and I appreciate it.
All right.
Okay, you ready?
Are we ready? Do we have commentary? Like, have you?
We're gonna start casting Pong.
Pong cast. Yo, let me know if you see tournaments going on. Let me know. I'll cast some Pong.
Will do.
Oh no! Oh, it's because I'm not ready for your rebound.
Yeah, you gotta get ahead of the game here.
Gotta focus on the ball.
Right. Dang it! I'm not good at this.
Oh no! That was a cheap shot.
Or he's not paying attention.
I learned some things about the corner, so. Oh no!
You learned some things. Oh, like you don't have to go completely into the corner.
Sometimes you go for the corner, you miss it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Take the risk and you miss it.
Yeah, but the corner can get some crazy shots like that.
Oh.
You had the right idea there. You knew where you were going.
Yeah, I just had to get an idea. Okay.
She knew where she was going, but she didn't know how to get there.
Rip. Brody, just let me.
Oh, is that it?
You got 2
Was
though.
it supposed to be that easy,
Better
guys?
than 1.
Have you ever seen anybody so bad at this game?
Yes.
Okay.
That was brilliant. Wow, thank you guys so much for this. This was amazing. And the RGB. I like
100.
shiny things, so that got me the most.
Cannot wait to master this. I will eventually. So the next time you guys see me, I'll be a pro.
Right,
thank you guys so much for coming and for Brody for beating me. Next time, please come back and we'll play again.
Sounds great.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Code goes in, can't get it. Alvaro looking for the slicing master straight onto the back line. Code is on the front line as Boxer goes down. Patrick takes him out. Now Patrick with the Featherstorm Whipper with a perfect taunt. But the stopwatch is out. New Jack needs to do a lot in this fight because Nemesis is shredding through Origin. There is no escape. There is no surviving. Fnatic, clean sweep Origin.
Not quite able to find the damage onto Sven, who goes on a killing spree, killing that enemy top laner. Sven scaring into the hourglass. Not going to be kept alive too much longer, except he will. It's a kill for Broken Blade on Azazel. TSM's got a Quadra. And against many people's expectations, TSM will take down Cloud9 yet again.
Welcome everyone to Esports in 30. I'm Lisa Dwan, this is Matt Hempstead, and we're right in the thick of the summer split. On top of that, Rift Rivals is just around the corner. Matt, what did you see over the weekend that stood out to you?
Well, over in the LPL, we don't talk about it much, but today we will because we've got Raz on the show, which is another big deal. Love that guy. But also, I mean, Fun Plus Phoenix is a team that kind of gets overshadowed by Invictus, and they had that playoff collapse last split. So all of a sudden, you know, you look at this team, and they're 6-0. They're being dominant, and it's really crazy to watch. And then in the LEC, we had G2 versus Fnatic for the title of the last undefeated team, and it was an absolute domination, but who wins might surprise you a little bit. And then the LCS, of course, we still see people going up and down the standings, but we saw 100 Thieves make a move up instead of continuing to lose games. So very hyped. Maybe they'll continue that into playoffs. We'll have to wait and see.
So exciting. Well, let's jump right into it. There were some absolutely huge matchups, like Matt said, in the LCS and LEC. So let's get a taste of the action with some highlights.
This is it. Optic's last stand. Scarlet, he's coming to the party again. Scarlet's got back up this time. He's saying, hey, boys, I brought the whole case. Big moving forward, looking to grab the binding, does manage to land it now down onto Bjergsen, who's going to be in some trouble. Broken Blade's going to be going on a killing spree. More damage coming out, though, and TSM are absolutely shredded. Nexus turret number 2 out of the picture now. Nexus under fire. TSM looking to defend. Optic still putting in the work, and the Nexus is down. Optic Gaming will win this game in Scarlet's debut. Almost enough to kill him, but Zaze with the foul. Maybe able to save him. Fake got down. That's the reset. The Aatrox ult he needs. Now Zaze is going to get jumped on as Liquid tries to dunk on Afro move. Flips back and able to get that kill for the shutdown, but he can't make it back over to the Shroud. He gets knocked up. He gets killed when they need to. In fact, Clever, is he too far forward here? Buffer through there. TP in. Gonna lock one in, but Ryu forced to flash away. Here comes Zazel once more. Liquid instantly in the back. He's going to try and take the Ryu into the Shroud. He goes. He gets the kill. Over the wall. He needs to go, but does get shut down. It's enough to get an upset here as they'll just dive towards the fountain, dive under the Nexus, and take their win over Cloud9.
In their engages, if either team messes up, big stun though!
Now it's going to start off here. We're going to see Smoothie going into stasis here. Immediately Sven also going to be keeping himself alive just for a moment. Smoothie taken down, also going to be Ole traded away. TSM on the retreat. Acadian's going to be taken down. Hanser's popping off! The wings of death! But it will be a 1-for-1 there. Definitely Hanser and Froggen. Now going to be pressuring onto the tier 3 into the mid lane as well. Froggen in some trouble. Critical positioning error will be heavily punished. Golden Guardians grouped up trying to play Protect the President. The VIP is down. And Bjergsen will again find his mark. Broken Blade kills Contracts. And the Golden Guardians stand 3v5, 2v5, 1v5 after 49 minutes. The longest game of Summer Split. TSM will take down the Golden Guardian.
Cam's looking for the chase, but is Jankos going to be able to do enough? Whippo heals up, flashes away, and Camps is down. This is personal from Fnatic. Once again, Camps is dead.
Allowing G2 to gain any...
Oh my God! There's no way you should be able to hit that. Cam's still able to get away, but Hylissang on the chase couldn't quite land the Tiamat. Hylissang, he's vying for the best pike in Europe. Cam's strong. Oh, no way! Has to flash the wall. Hylissang trying to clear out the wave as much as he can. Because here's Boxer, the knockback on Wonder, but Wonder dodging around with the Vanguard's edge and back in. 2 kills to Fnatic. Whippo on the chase here as well as the battle rages in the Fnatic jungle. Whippo coming in. Jankos trying to get onto Nemesis Perks. Almost dying up towards the top side as he will go down. Wonder dies. Jankos dies. Perks dies. Mickey dies. There comes the Destiny. Perks flashing away. McCordon is stun card and the follow-up. Just deliver the kills to Fnatic. Cam's trying to dodge around here, but Hylissang got the chase. The stun card connects, and now Mickey is fed to the wolves. Nemesis is on the Nexus, looking for the win here. Fnatic do to G2 what G2 have done so many times before. They obliterate them.
Yes, you saw that right. Fnatic put an end to G2's dominance and handed them the first loss of the season. Meanwhile, Fnatic is the lone undefeated team. So how did Fnatic get the better of G2, Matt?
Well, a couple of things kind of stand out. One, we all knew that Pyke would be like the champion that's going to be contested, right? Hylissang plays it for Fnatic, and everyone plays it for G2. But Hylissang got it, and he was doing crazy things with it. He was predicting flashes. He was being a main engage. So really impressed by that, and obviously that's going to be huge going into Rift Rivals too, because everyone's got to challenge that Pyke coming up from EU. But for G2, it was really Broxah. In the early game, he was everywhere they had to be. He got some early leads in basically every lane. And even on counter ganks, he was right in the area on that Gregus. And by the end, he was just doing insane damage too, because Gregus, if he gets that AP and he gets that lead, he can continue building aggressively and just kind of snowballs from there. So between like him and Whippo, it was very dominant and very impressed. I mean, you expect G2 to just keep winning, but I guess Fnatic put some big prep into this game. They almost lost to XL the next day and give them the first win, but that's not important.
So obviously they just practiced for G2.
They just practiced for G2, exactly, and they put a lot of into it, a lot of energy, and it almost cost them to an almost as impressive loss, but
it's okay. They beat the undefeated team,
yeah,
so like, that's the most important thing. I think this is really great, you know, just saying for G2 that they have someone who can take them down,
it's important.
Which puts the fire under their butt. Let's jump over to NA though, because after a slow start, it's Team Liquid all alone in first, and there's still a 4-way tie for second. So what are your thoughts on the playoff race after 4 weeks?
I mean, the big surprise is CLG, right? I mean, if you look at some of the other teams that are in here, you know, Team Liquid's in first, and then you have C9, TSM, Optic, but that's another note. It's like, how is CL possibly doing this? And they're still flying under the radar at 5-3, but again, really impressed. They stepped it up. Wiggly looks so much better than he did in spring and finally messing with the team. So they're one of the teams that you kind of watch out for. And then right below that, there's Golden Guardians, who had a crushing loss to TSM, and Clutch, who's still clinging to life at 4-4. So there's still a lot to talk about in the playoff race, and we're going to have to wait and see if Clutch can actually climb into that top echelon of teams. But they're holding on, unlike FlyQuest. So.
Rip FlyQuest. Let's talk about Opti Gaming, which you kind of made that little note there, because Crown, their star player, was out for the week, but they still managed to win over TSM. So how was Scarlet, this mid laner Scarlet, able to step in and help Optic beat TSM?
I mean, he's been on Optic Academy, but you still kind of expect them when they're called up with not too much time and like practice with the full team to have some struggles, right? But he played a comfort champion in Vladimir both games, which obviously helps out on stage. If you don't want to put him into a situation where he's played the champion a couple times, you want to give him a good matchup, something he's comfortable with, and he popped off pretty hard. I mean, TSM, they kind of had their hands on that game, but then Scarlet had some really nice TP flanks, came from behind and started to pull Optic back into it, and from there they took over. His second game wasn't as amazing. They lost to Echo Fox, which is not good, but that's okay. That doesn't matter. They beat TSM, which is a very impressive win. It kind of shows that this team, I mean, obviously Crown's been performing well, but to plug in a mid laner that have so much success, it also tells you that the parts around it are very strong as well, right? And they're gonna tell them what to do. They're gonna be like, look, there's a ward there, go TP and make these plays. So
is Vlad in the meta right now though?
A little bit. He's not like the full-fledged top-tier mid laner or whatever, but he's being used a decent amount, yeah. All
right, well, the expectations that Crown's coming back, but now that Scarlet's kind of performed really well, do you think they're going to split time in any way, or was he just literally like a bandage solution for this moment?
I do think it's kind of like a band-aid. I mean, he performed well and it was impressive, but we don't know how that would extend across an entire timeline of Split, right? So Crown has shown that he knows so many characters. He knows Twisted Fate. He's played a lot. He's pretty comfortable with the team. So I don't expect him to go anywhere. It was nice to see if they have a potential backup if they ever want to, put him out there. But I think they don't really have too much room to experiment because you see the standings, right? It's really close. So you don't want to just throw someone out there just for experience or anything like that. They're still in a tight playoff race, so every game matters.
Okay, we have to talk about 100 Thieves because this is a big week for them, okay? After 3 weeks, things were looking so bad, but now they just went 2-0 in week 4. So how on earth, Matt, did they manage to turn things around?
It's pretty crazy.
It's crazy.
It's pretty crazy. I mean, a lot of the credit goes to Afromu and Bang because I'm just really impressed with how they've turned it up. It looks like their aggression is back in form, and I think a lot of that comes from their top laner not requiring as many resources because, when Sunday was up there, you always got to make sure that he's ahead, he's performing well, and he requires a lot of gold as well, right? But with Fake God up there, I mean, in the second game of the week, he was full-fledged captain. It was tough. He was down 0-3, down a bunch of CS, but he absorbed the pressure and kind of allowed Amazing to go down to the bot lane and get them a lead. So I do think, ironically, getting rid of Someday, not ideal because you want to have stars in every lane, but if it helps the bot lane get more confident and get more help, then you go with it. And because of that, I mean, Bang and Afro were just being aggressive. Bang was flashing forward, making plays, showing off that he's still an aggressive guy. So it's interesting that their move kind of works, but I also think it supplies a bit more shot calling because, Ryu has super experience, been around for a long time, and with him and Afro kind of calling the shots was amazing. I think it's a pretty good-looking roster.
This is amazing. So it's basically just throwing Fake God under the bus while the other lanes pop off.
Well, I mean, he was saying that it's kind of like a lose lane, win game style, which is
new meta, guys.
Which is actually kind of a thing.
Yeah.
You don't have to win your lane. You just kind of have to hang on and still be useful. I mean, he was on Kennen, right? And Kennen can still supply that ultimate, the AoE ultimate with the stun. So as long as other lanes are holding their own, losing lane isn't all that bad sometimes. As long as you know your role and you're not like, team, help me, I'm losing, come on.
That made me happy for a second because I was like, yeah, I don't have to win lane. But yeah, I always need help.
Yeah,
so let's talk about the most interesting game of the week. It was probably Golden Guardians versus TSM because both teams actually looked like they had a chance to win there, but then TSM managed to close that one. So what did you make of this fiesta?
It was definitely a fiesta. It was quite a fiesta. I mean, man, I don't really know what I was going to talk about. It was an entertaining game, but sometimes those entertaining games don't showcase the best skill. It was kind of Bjergsen versus Froggen. They're both playing Bird champions. Bjergsen had the Azir, Froggen had the Anivia, of course. Wow, surprise. And they just kind of went back and forth making plays. And some of those plays were kind of gifted to the other team. I mean, Golden Guardians were knocking on the front door, took down an inhib and then went mid, but they didn't go carefully around the corner. You know, they went right through the base, got caught, and just kind of threw the game away. It was definitely a game of catch.
Guys,
And
even I know not to do that. Come on.
I know, right? It was catch, but the other team didn't even catch the ball sometimes. It was rough.
Okay, let's talk about Rift Rivals because it's coming up very close. NA has TL, Cloud9, and TSM going up against EU's Origin, Fnatic, and G2. So how do you see this event going for NA?
Not well.
No, not well.
To put it short, not well. I mean, Team Liquid's the only team that really looks fully in form, right? They've won a bunch after that rough start, and now they're 6-2, and they look like they're dominating. Xmithie is in perfect jungling form once again, whereas TSM, they've been shaky. They almost lost both games this weekend. They probably should have lost both games, and Cloud9 lost to 100 Thieves. And I mean, you're gonna mention G2, you're gonna mention Fnatic, you're gonna mention Origin.
Right.
Those teams are better than 100 Thieves.
Right.
And even for Team Liquid, the competition for them is shaky. G2 and Fnatic are going head to head. Even Origin's a tough contender. So I think they're gonna get pretty rocked. I don't think it's gonna be close.
It's gonna be fun either way.
That's right.
Guys, now that we're caught up with the West, let's continue our Rift Rivals prep. We haven't touched on the LPL since Worlds, so let's check out how China is shaping up.
Take a look at this. The emotions are coming huge, and V5 go.
Glacial Fisher on top. Ning, can he get in into the Glacial Prison? We see again the Jarvanalt goes in, but he's dead immediately. Y4 now hitting at the turret too, and V5 have done it. IG again defeated. Unexpected result, but V5 slammed them home.
Vladimir's there as well. The land gets dropped on out as they jump onto Carson, gets popped up twice. Southwind in as well as Vladimir flashes in. Xiaohu comes in for the flank, and this is RNG's fight to be taken however they want. He glides across the dead body. RNG coming to this game and this series as strong as we expected. Heading the Nexus away, flashing for the fancy play. A 2-0 for RNG again.
They can just stall this one out. They've got a cannon with Baron. They go in for the engage. Kondi goes in for the re-engage himself. He doesn't have the Cataclysm. Won't be able to find it. Hero's Entrance lands, but SMLZ, look at how much damage he's doing. He dodges away the Death Charge with the Feather Storm, and he is just popping off in the team fight. Yuki getting chased down there, and it looks like Suning are just going to be able to run this one through and dunk the 2-0 onto LGD. Just going to get a few KDA kills and take down the Nexus.
Might be dangerous for XX.
This is really bad for XX. He needs to get the smite.
Oh.
No, he's stolen away by Forge. If they can get a pick, Balon is taking the tower. He doesn't want to be doing that. But if they can get a pick here, they should be able to just end it through. The Shy taking a whole lot of damage from Loken and Knight. He needs to zone out of this. He gets the kill on the Knight. This is going to be their third series win if they can just stop having a happy ending to this game. Invictus Gaming take it down 2-1 over Top Esports.
From LWX, but the Cocoon lands, they flash onto Uzi. He ults the wrong way, but there's no right way here for RNG. They sweep, they swing, they swoosh. They send out Cocoons, they send out Xiaohu, who steals the Aatrox ulti. He's trying to jump in himself. He pops it early, but he's just going to get bursted down. Dulby now has a reset, jumps onto Uzi in the backline. He gets locked down by Ming, but I don't think it's the Cork can help. Uzi again, 1, 2, and 3. Dulby loves him, sticks to him like glue, and FPX have done everything they need to do in this game. Clean finish here from FPX. It took a while to get there, but heading towards Worlds, heading towards Rift Rivals, FPX taking down RNG, remain at the top of the leaderboard.
To help us catch up with everything LPL, we've got our pal Raz joining us. How's it going?
Doing well, doing well. How's it going on your end?
Not too bad, not too bad. We're excited because we got lots of League of Legends to talk about, and we want to kick it off with Invictus Gaming. So they've had a crazy start to their summer split, everything from like MSI Hangover to, of course, Rookie taking a break too for family reasons. But they are still 4-2. So we want to know, how have they been able to still hang on and get through the opening weeks?
It's surprising because they haven't had the 5 core that won the world championships and has been in MSI like since of course like the moment Rookie left is when Balan finally came back into the starting lineup. But the reason for it is, like, simply put, not only are the 4 members that were around him performing well, but Forge, who's been coming in from the Invictus Gaming young lineup, the academy team, has actually just been turning it up. Actually just came off of a cast where he went up against like the squad of Suning, and he came in huge with an 11 kill performance. So he's been a major playmaker for the team.
I mean, when you first heard about Rookie news, everyone is like up in arms, panicking. This team is probably screwed because he's considered like the best mid laner in the world. And then this Forge guy comes in and starts performing out of his mind. So now that they have this kind of new roster in place for, we don't really know how long because of Rookie's absence, is kind of unknown. Where do you think they rank up against some of the other top teams?
It's tough to say because they're 2 recent performances. They took down top esports that were previously undefeated. They took down, of course, Suning that were on the rise. I would say right now they're 2nd place. It's kind of like, that's the hotly contested topic because FPX came off of their huge win versus RNG, and now focus right now is between RNG and Invictus Gaming. But I gotta be able to give it to IG that came in for one of the toughest wins so far, and they've been really performing right now with the new lineup.
That's good. Well, let's talk about Fun Plus Phoenix because, like you said, they took down RNG. Strong performance. So can you tell us like how dominant this team is right now in the LPL?
Oh my God, they're such a great team. Like, I'm just so sad that this is the type of team that hasn't been able to make it to an international just yet. And I know when they go to Rift Rivals, it's going to be insane because, like, Spring Split, they go so far. They're 1st place in the regular season. They should have made it to the finals, but then they made that crucial misstep, like that allowed JDG to like be able to come through in Game 4 and Game 5. And now they're already starting this split undefeated again. So like right now, all of their lanes are incredible. Doinby, their leader, their mid laner, is someone that you need to be able to watch and follow. He's just like that type of like star power for the team now.
I was about to ask you about that because we all know, I mean, Fun Plus Phoenix had a great spring split in the regular season, and now they're 6-0. They don't really show any signs of slowing down. Of course, they've always got that in the back of their head. You know, they kind of let it go in the playoffs. So do you think they're over that kind of loss, or is this going to be another weird thing where they dominate in the regular season and then kind of choke in the playoffs?
It's always hard to tell because there are a few teams that, you know, they do change whenever they get to that moment. But I feel like they have learned their lesson because they're the type of team that they take a lot of risks even when they get that huge advantage, right? And that it's ultimately costed them in Game 4 versus JDG in the playoffs. But then when it came down to a lot of their most recent performances, they're actually playing it like a little bit more safe when they get those leads. So they're still stomping and they have a huge lead. But at the end of the day, when they go to those iconic moments or on Baron buff and like, do they choose to take the fight or go back to base? Far more frequently, they're just heading back to base with their money. And that's literally the whole reason they ended up losing to JD during the playoffs. So we'll have to see if they can keep it consistent.
That's good. They've managed to kind of bring it down and meet in the middle.
Yes.
That's good.
For now.
Yes.
For now. Let's talk about Sunning now because Sunning picked up Maple and Sword Art, and we know they like killed it in the LMS a couple years ago. So these are big names. There's a lot of hype, but then Spring was less than good. So why have they had such a strong beginning to this split?
This split's been huge just because I feel like a lot of the reasons why they fell through during the spring split was because they had so many, like, such a star power lineup, but no real focus in where to end up playing, right? Because they had Shao in the top lane, of course, ended up losing him in the summer split, but it seemed like it's a bit of a blessing simply because now it really forced them to play through mid and bot lane. That they know, like, going into the game, that they can play to their usual star players. And on top of that, Fluid Win coming in as the coach also came in from the Flash Rolls, so it's like essentially now you have the Flash Rolls mentality, not only just Maple and Sword Art, but the coaching staff as well, and I think it's done them a lot of good.
One more team I want to ask you about is obviously RNG, because you just mentioned that they're up there in 2nd place as well. Between them and Invictus, you know, Cars is another one of those LMS guys who has come in and he performed pretty well in spring, but now he's got more time with the team under his belt. Uzi's playing great. So where do you think they stand in terms of going forward? Because, you know, they had that fall to G2 in the quarterfinals, but all of a sudden they're looking good again in the LPL.
I think Spring Split was like a huge gap for them where I was worried that they wouldn't be able to make it a Worlds. And then Summer Split, when they brought in Long Sing, it really covered that top lane issue where Amazing J wasn't able to perform for the team. Now you bring in Long Sing, who has just been, of course, a major playmaker, understands his role a lot of the time, so he's able to be flexible and be on the weak side of the map a lot of the time. So for me, RNG ranks in as a top 3 team in the LPL. And the only question now is where do they land between FPX and Invictus Gaming? I would love to be able to see RNG versus IG. I think that would be a hype matchup going into the split.
All right, well, we got to talk about the event coming up because Rift Rivals is soon. And what's exciting is that they added VCS region, right, to the mix. How does adding the Vietnamese region change up kind of, I guess, the dynamic and preparing for this tournament?
It's really needed for me because whenever I've been at the last few Rift Rivals and the issue is always like 3rd seed and 4th seed from the LMS. The issue with the LMS was mostly like the depth of talent. So the first 2 seeds would be doing crazily, but then the 3rd and 4th seed would be the consistent losing pieces. And now you get to see, Fung Vu Buffalo, now known as the Dashing Buffalo, come back. We saw what they were able to do during MSI, and they're a really talented team, so I want to be able to see that. And of course the old organization that we saw in the previous MSI, EVOS also being able to make that. I think it's just great to see competition rise, and I think VCS has been that region really clashing with the LMS. It's kind of funny that now they're kind of tag teaming in this one to be able to challenge LPL and LCK.
Yeah, I mean, how many times have we seen the teams like Fung Buffalo actually challenge some of the top teams at Worlds and stuff like that, but now they actually get more international practice, which is going to be a huge deal. But of course, the LPL's main competition is the LCK. We all know that. How does IG, FPX, JD Gaming, and Top Esports ship against SKT, Griffin, Damwon, and Kingzone? It's going to be a pretty crazy clash between these two.
It's going to be crazy, and the seeds make it all jumbled because it feels like the team that's performing the worst right now in the LCK is the 1st seeded SKT. It's crazy to be able to say that right now, that they're like 7th place, or at least think that they're like 8th place or something right now in the LCK. Same thing you could say about LPL, but like Invictus Gaming are starting to really gather themselves, where right now I'd say initially I was favoring the LCK just because they have Griffin and Kingzone, Dragon X, and Damwon. They're all performing well, and I was concerned about Invictus Gaming, but after tonight, I think that changes everything. I would lean towards LPL just because, FPX right now don't seem to be stoppable. I would say Top Esports and Invictus Gaming are now in like that echelon just underneath them. I think we have a deep pool, and that's what you really need at this tournament. You can't just be like last time. KT understood it. The last time we were in Rift Rivals, you can't just be the strongest team. You need to actually have a strong pool of teams coming through because you can't just solo carry it.
I think we mentioned last time when we spoke together that LCK, we're wondering whether LCK can make it back to their top form, back be on top of all the regions. Do you see that happening, or do you think this it's not happened for the LCK yet?
I think it's happening. I think it's going to be a lot better than the Worlds and, of course, MSI showing, just simply because there's a new breadth of talent coming in. Like, Damwon is going to be a new team coming through from the LCK, and certainly, like, Griffin, a team that literally couldn't make MSI or Worlds. This is a great experience for them. So, like, a good shot and opportunity for players that weren't able to make that chance. And I think for LCK, it's going to be great for the region to be able to see that kind of talent coming through, because for so long we've just been seeing the usual teams like Africa Freaks and all that being able to get to the Worlds tournament, play a slow style, and then of course the LCK fans are not getting what they want on that one. Now we're seeing the same skirmishing style that kind of matches with the LPL, and I think that's kind of the identity the LCK needs to be able to be back on top.
Interesting. So you've been killing it with the predictions on the desk for LPL. You're leading, and I'm sure you're gonna let people know about it. There you go. But let's get a hard prediction for Rift Rivals 2. What region and what team in particular is gonna be the champions of Rift Rivals here?
Ooh, I think it's gonna be LPL, and I'm gonna go for FPX. FPX right now look too good, and I think the big matchup you want to see is Griffin versus FPX. That's the dream.
I don't know about this Griffin thing. Okay, listen, I don't follow LCK super closely, but they've had moments where they choked when everyone was hyping them up so hard. So how is this not just another, time where they're hyped up super hard and they're too young?
I understand that. I think that's the case. I think right now, them being able to have this event, finally an international event where they can get underneath the spotlight and be comfortable with it, I still look at the LCK pool and say that SKT is not good enough at the moment. Maybe they gather themselves for the tournament, but I don't think they have enough time to be able to get there. Kingzone and Damwon, I think, are just a step below Griffin. So we'll see what happens, Griffin. I have faith. Like, I have faith right now. This split, Griffin's going to be able to do it. So if I falter, okay, but at least it's not KT. There's still some reason to have faith behind them.
Hopefully it's not another situation where it's like you kind of fall back with your ex for like the fourth time and then they still disappoint you.
They still hurt you.
Yeah, you don't want that again.
You definitely don't want that.
Let's talk about NA and EU for a bit. We want to get your thoughts. The rivalry right now for NA and EU is, I think, 1 apiece.
Yes.
Which region do you favor in this one?
Oh my God. Right now, I'd say EU. I'll say EU right now. Because I think not only do EU have the champions in G2, they're 100% the best team right now in the world based off the fact that they're able to get in MSI. But the depth too, like Fnatic, god damn. I'm loving Fnatic's performance at the moment. I think Origin, if they end up going through, and I think they do, yeah, 3rd seed. Yeah. They just have a lot of teams right now that I feel like are ready for an international, where on the side of, North America, I would say specifically Cloud9 and TSM aren't looking too steady at the moment, regionally. And they just have a few cogs right now, a few points of the map that I feel like needs shaping up.
Fair enough. They need Optic Gaming to go, and then they'll be fine, right? Of course.
Oh, there we go. That's what I'm talking about.
One hypothetical for you. Obviously, EU doesn't face the LPL, but I mean, there's some strong teams in EU right now, as you just said, Fnatic and G2. So do you think Fun plus Phoenix would get the edge over teams like G2 and Fnatic?
I would say Fnatic. For G2, it's going to be tough. I think for G2, see, the craziest thing right now is the strength of G2 definitely lines up with the strength of Fun plus Phoenix, whereas mid lane and jungle, Duembi and Tien, like they're a dynamic duo in a lot of cases, and they constantly force fights through bot side, and G2 is the type of team that also ramps it up really early on through mid jungle too. So if it's between Duembi and Caps, God, I have no idea. That's the one prediction I will not make because I can't put my money behind that.
Well, luckily you don't have to. They're not playing, so you're good.
There we go.
All right, Raz, we always appreciate you chatting with us. Thank you so much again, and have a blast at Rift Rivals.
Thank you for having me. I'm going to have fun with it.
All right, there's definitely a lot of excitement for Rift Rivals, and that actually all starts on Thursday, so make sure you guys check that out. But Matt, final order of business. It's time for Player of the Week. Who's your pick? I'm excited.
So, I mean, I didn't expect it to be who it was going to be this week because the team that is going to get the Player of the Week.
There's a lot of build-up right now.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to build it up real big. They went 2-0, 100 Thieves, and the guy who really stood out to me during this whole series was their AD carry Bang. I mean, we've been waiting for some of these stand-up performances from him for a while, but he really showed up the entire weekend. They got a huge win over Cloud9, which is not exactly what we were expecting, and a lot of that was because of Bang showing off that he's still a really aggressive AD carry when he wants to be. And I mean, part of it too is that their top laner has taken a lot of that pressure, so Amazing can actually go down and help them out. And then once he gets that lead, he's flashing forward, he's going in, he's Q assessing perfectly on time, and he just really showed off to Xayah in both games. And you know what? I mean, it's overdue, but it's nice to see aggressive Bang finally come back. It looks like his confidence is back. I mean, after he made one of those stand-up plays in the comms, he was like, yeah, that's right, this is Bang. And it's like, okay, that's what we want from him, right? We want him to be himself, we want him to be comfortable on stage.
Yeah.
And it looks like he's finally meshing with maybe some better shot calling from the team as well. So huge shout outs to Bang, and of course, 100 Thieves going 2-0. What is happening?
There you go, the faith is being rewarded. The only 100 Thieves fan left is me, and
me.
I'm so excited. All right, guys, that's it for today's Esports in 30. Huge shout outs to Raz for joining us. Tomorrow, it'll be an Overwatch League recap with AJ and Ron, and there were some crazy upsets to discuss, so until then, you know what to do. Hit us up on all our socials at Squad State, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Looks like there was a ton of action that went down over the weekend, so I can't wait to see which plays will make our plays of the week. Remember, we are back here tomorrow starting at 8 p.m. Eastern with more Unmuted, and then in Esports in 30, AJ and Ron are breaking OWL Stage 3, Week 3, plus we got the new releases in the loadout. But if you want more of us, well, you could have more of us on our socials at Squad State, and our YouTube channel has all the VODs in case you missed anything. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you soon.